Oh. All right, everybody. Welcome to another fine episode of Happy Hour Live Chat. I think this is episode 30, but I'm Jerry with BigJ's Knives.
Kevin, Boston Blade Reviews. How's everyone doing out there?
And Ray from North Star Knife Reviews. So I've
right.
got a second monitor over here that's bigger, so I'm going to be looking that way.
Well, there we go. And for some reason, I've got some type of music coming in my headset here real quick. So let me get rid of that. Okay, I got rid of that. But guys, everyone knows Ray, aka North Star Knife Reviews. He does a lot of informative videos. He makes a lot of things. I know you're highly into getting blade blanks and then forming your own handles and things like that. So, I mean, let's just get right into this. What prompted you into the whole knife scene in the first place?
Well, I mean, I grew up in Northwest Iowa, and like 3 miles from Minnesota and 20 miles from South Dakota, so like way up there. And my dad and my uncle owned a grain elevator, and so like maybe on a weekend or during the summer, I might Tuesday morning I'll go down and just hang out, and he'd take me along when he'd go out to the farms or like up in the elevator and stuff. And he always had this Schrade old timer 80T that he used for pretty much everything. And he also had this cigar box of knives, must have been a couple dozen knives that he had just up in a cabinet. And he was like, yeah, if you ever need a knife, go ahead, grab whatever, just put it back when you're done. And so I didn't carry him a lot, but on weekends or something, there was a river that ran by town, and we'd all bike out there, and you have your knife, you carve some stuff, and maybe a fillet of fish, whatever. And then I kind of got out of it when I went to college, and then I had a job, and about I think it was 2017, so that'd be about 6 years ago. I was like, I still had a couple knives around, but I was like, I miss carrying a pocket knife with them because they're just useful. And so I started looking online, and this is, when I grew up, it was all traditionals, but I started looking at the moderns, and I got like a CRKT Drifter, and then a couple other ones. And then what is still one of my favorite knives, this Rake 801.
Seen those plenty of times. Nice. Yeah, I like those myself.
They're just, they're not expensive. 14 C28N steel on this, which is really tough for a stainless. And I'm not a big frame lock guy, but I like this one because it's so thin, and it's a little bigger than I normally would carry, like to an office or something for EDC. But it was great. It's it's this blackout, so it doesn't even the clip, so it doesn't scream, hey, he's carrying a knife, something. But it's just nice, like you're at lunch or something, and you're like, oh crap, I need to cut this, and you've got these plastic knives, so you can just pull this out and use it. But and then I started getting into some other stuff. I started watching Tobias at LiveChat. And so I started checking out the Rough Riders because I wasn't familiar with Rough Rider. And they're not the fanciest steels in the world, but for the price, they're pretty good, And so I started,
especially the reserve line.
Yeah, and they let you collect it without spending just a shit ton of money.
Right.
So, and I'm still a budget. Maybe I'm just a cheap SOB, but I have problems paying more than like $70 for a knife. And I'm not dissing anybody who it's just I can, every time I want to spend it, I could hear my dad saying $70 for a damn knife or something like that, and you're just like, pull the plug out.
Well, speaking of Rough Riders and hearing your story, let's just go right into what we're going to give away today. I know that you wanted to do something kind of out of the goodness of just being who you are, and I know you give stuff all the time. You've given stuff to me directly and to Happy Hour Live Chat. So what do you got going on today?
Well, what I would like to do, and there's going to be a little bit different than the normal because it's not going to come directly from me, but I want to give somebody a Mora because these are just the greatest bargain in the knife world, I think. And what I'm going to do is, because I don't have a new one. Well, I do have one, but it's Minnesota Gophers colors, and so my son has claimed it because he's a Gophers fan. So what I'm going to do is whoever wins, send Jerry your address and whether you want a stainless or a carbon blade.
Okay.
And I'll either get you the carbon, which is the 511, or the stainless, which is the 546. Stainless is, I think, 12C28N, and the carbon, I think, is 1095 or something. Yeah. Very close to that. So that way you can, some people like carbon, some like stainless, depends on where you are, what you're doing. So we'll give that away, and you just pick, and Amazon can pay the postage.
There we go. Hey, that's perfect. I know Boston, I think I've sent you one, and you put a tuner on yours, and it's my wife's favorite butcher. Like when we're doing a whitetail or a hog, she just loves it. It feels good in her hand. So guys,
man,
right there you go. That's what you're going to be getting.
If you guys want a patina on that, you know how you can force a patina just with some of that. I'm drawing a blank today, but what is it again?
Hot vinegar.
Hot vinegar, man. Throw it in the microwave. Put the blade in there, and you're gonna get that patina. Really looks good with the black handle.
This is the exact same. This is a little lighter because it's been worn off a bit. But yeah, that hot vinegar works really well. I think.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, you got a piece of paper there as well, North Star and a pen? That way when we do the drawing here in an hour. Okay, cool. On
the other side, so
well, I'll go through what is coming from myself and Boston Blade Reviews via some great people. First, let me give thanks. I always got to do this. I feel bad if I don't. So I got to give thanks to these supporters: Georgia Adventure / EDC Leatherworks, J.O.Ventures Outdoors, Jersey Knife Guy, Jesse McJames, North Star Knife Reviews, because you've given a couple of those kick-ass ferro rods, Ben Baker, Dwayne Letterman, and the Radio Geek sent me some things today, the other day. And as a matter of fact, via Radio Geek, you're going to get a Rough Rider Copperhead today from Happy Hour Live Chat with the box and the little plastic sleeve. Jersey Knife Guy donated this awesome Ozark Trail assisted opening knife. J.O.Ventures, he donated a Travax Summit wallet.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, and then we got all this swag. And Ray, I had a decal left from you, so we're going to give him a decal since it's your show today. Jersey Knife Guy, of course, Smoky Mountain, and then a coaster. And I believe the Smoky Mountain one did come from Jersey as well. So big thanks to all of our supporters. And don't forget, while you're at it, type Kaiser in the comments in the live chat to get a raffle ticket. This is the last week for the tickets. So we will be drawing next Sunday evening for the winner of this Kaiser Roach.
Get that Kaiser. Get the Kaiser in the comments. Get it in the comments, guys.
Comments. Yeah. So, Ray, my second question, which is my second question for everybody we have on here, what got you into YouTube, man?
Into YouTube? Well,
yeah.
I've always been into music and stuff, and I love going to concerts. Much less when you have kids, because they take your time and your money. But I'll still go occasionally. And I actually had a YouTube, just my personal YouTube channel that I put up. Like if I'd go to a concert, get a little video footage or something I put up.
Yeah.
And I started watching some knife channels. I said Tobias, Big Red, Knife Detector, these guys. And I was like, I always liked show and tell when I was in grade school. So why not? And I don't do I'm not Thrifty Kniffy, all right? I don't do all the production and all that. I'm basically, you get what you get because I ain't got time for that shit. So that's how I do.
I'm with you.
Dude, I was screaming at her earlier.
That's not trying to, just John at all. I love what he does. I just don't have the time. I probably don't have the talent either, but I don't have the time for it. So.
I was just trying to edit in screenshots, and I sent a message to Kevin there. I'm like, I'm about ready to throw this computer out the window, man, because I wanted to do a really good video on one of those Westerns I picked up for Way Back Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And, of course, I forgot to even mention Way Back Wednesday till the end of the damn video, and I'm trying to edit in these pictures, and we're trying to do apple butter. We went over to Indiana to some antique stores today, and I know, Kevin, you were busy. I think I seen you in Target or something or somewhere today.
Man, I was in Target today with my daughter. She needed something over there, so we went over there for a quick. We got 3 items. I grabbed something. She needed 2 things, so we had 3 items. So there's 25 registers. 2 are open. 2 registers are open. The line went from the register all the way through the store.
Yeah, you sent me pictures of that.
The middle of the store. It was about a 45-minute wait. And I get up there and I'm like, what's going on here? She's like, we can't keep people. No one's willing to work. And then people come in, they go to work, and then they're gone a day later. I'm like, it's unbelievable, man. 2 registers out of 25 open, and the whole place is packed. I was ready to. If it was just me, I would have dropped everything and left. But
That's
she needed
why
what she needed, so
you got to do the drive up, where you just
yeah, too. That yeah, yep,
that one, especially with you have kids with you.
yeah.
Because then they don't see the candy at the checkout and all that. You're like, oh yeah, Dad's just got to stop by here real quick. They're not getting out of the car. And
She's starting to grow up. She's 15 now, so she's starting to grow out of that oh, I want this. She basically wants what she knows what she wants. But yeah, I just couldn't believe it, man. 25 lines, two open with a line going to the middle of the store, and I'm like, man, wow.
Well, we were over in Covington, Indiana, and the first place I sent Kevin, I always like to send him videos of these unique antique stores. I mean, it was out on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere, and there's a sign when you go in. The lady writes a sign that says, "If I'm not here in 5 minutes, please call me," because her house is like 200 yards away. But she showed up, man, and it's like a barn dominium type place, real old school. But then we went into Covington, Indiana, and there wasn't nothing open. It was one of them towns where on Sunday it's closed. The whole town was closed. But North Star, I always hear you talking about your children and doing stuff with your children. You're always putting up pictures of like, hey, we're on this nature hike today, or we're at the zoo. I don't want to get personal, but how many children do you have?
Well, it's a second marriage for both of us.
Okay.
My wife has 4 from her first marriage. I have 2 from my first marriage, and then we have 2 together. Which I said I'm not having any more kids, but then we decided why not. So you said there's a gap between my let's see, the oldest or the youngest one before that is 16, and then I've got a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Gotcha.
So so
keep you busy.
Yeah,
keep you busy
until I die.
I got 26 and 20. I'm on the other end of it.
Fun, doing all this stuff that I did 10, 15 years ago. My oldest is 20, and now I'm going to soccer again, and I'm going to football, like little peewee kid football, and sometimes you're like, oh God, do I really have to go out tonight do this? But it's worth it in the long run.
Yeah, I coached football for 10 years. I put one all the way through the program. Then I had the youngest was coming up. I had to do the same thing with him, and there wasn't a break in there, and it really took a toll on me and my body and my health. And then once I stopped that, I had all this time to do stuff for myself. Yeah, and I was like, holy crap, man, this is insane. And then I was able to get my health in check and just started lifting weights, and things went berserk. But let's get back on the knife train, man. What is your favorite traditional, and can you show us one of them?
My favorite traditional. Well, I think my favorite pattern, these were originally when they came out. The Case originally did though. All right, there's a Rough Rider. They were called a loom fixer. Rough Rider has a much better name for them, the Half Hawk. All right, I think most guys would probably be more excited about getting themselves a Half Hawk than a loom fixer. But you've got and this one's in the carbon steel. You've got this great little sheep's foot blade that's good for all sorts of stuff. But then this is one of the 2-bladed versions. You've got this, this little pin blade in case you need to pierce something. And apparently back in like the 20s and 30s, down, North Carolina was a huge fabric producing place, and they used to use these because you could cut the string or whatever you're using on your loom, and you can also get in to try and these big wooden looms to fix stuff, I guess. I don't do that. So, but yeah, this is a great little knife, I think, because I love a sheep's foot blade, but there's always that, oh God, I can't poke into this. So having that second blade on it is great.
That is nice.
I like a lot of traditional. I love copperheads are great. Canoes, love a sunfish, but yeah, I've got a couple others here. I'll pull out. I love these doctor's knives too. And this one I really like because I got it for Father's Day. Not this Father's Day, but a couple years ago. It's there's one of those knives you never get rid of, obviously.
Right.
But just now, this is just the one bladed. This is a Case, just a one bladed doctor's knife, so it doesn't have that little spatula thing on it. Yeah. But just a really nice, and the fit and finish on this one is really good. Nice back spring, no gapping to speak of, nicely centered and all that. So yeah, just a really great little knife.
Speaking, you were talking about a Rough Rider canoes, and Boston, you probably got one sitting right there, don't you?
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, from Jersey.
And these are beautiful, Ray.
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
Jersey gifted us these ones here. Just beautiful, beautiful knives, man.
That's another great thing about Rough Rider is you want to try out a new pattern, and you can do it for like $15.
Yeah,
that's right.
If you like it,
especially if you don't know if you're going to like it. Case is great and all, but I'm not paying $75 for a pattern that I might be like, but for the Rough Riders, I can pay $15-$16, get a knife and go, I really like this. Or like, I've got an example of it now, but I don't need another one.
Yeah.
I got to say, Rough Rider did a great job on these canoes. They really did. Rough Rider did a great job on these. Everything on it, the fit and finish. And that's something that Rough Rider does pretty good. I noticed more, obviously, on their reserve line, but I don't collect enough Rough Riders to know enough to really talk about their fit and finish on their knives. But from what I've seen, they've been pretty good from what I've personally seen.
I think so.
But yeah,
and,
this one's great. This one's great.
Yeah, and there was right after COVID hit, I noticed a decline. Probably because in China they had the same thing. You had half the workers.
Yeah, right.
And some things probably I noticed they were a little more variable, but I think they've gotten that under control again. But when you have half the people working, I can understand that.
Yeah, right. Well, everything at that point went downhill, so it just makes sense. Yeah, guys, I wanted to say real quick. I mentioned in my last live that I was going to be doing a giveaway for 2,000. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't get that out. Been extremely busy. That will be out this week, guys. Just keep your eyes open for that. I apologize. Just work is crazy right now, but it will be out this week, guys. Just wanted to throw that out there for you.
Yeah, and you got a new blade too that you haven't shown, right?
Which one?
One from Tom. One from Tom.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Let me grab that real quick.
While he's doing that, I was going to talk to Ray. I got this Rosecraft blade. You're talking about these doctor's knives.
Yeah. And
this is a killer little piece. I can't remember how much I paid. Probably $32 or $33. But it's got the half stops and it's easier pull. You know how most of them are like, most Rosecrafts are like crazy to try to get out of there. But I watched a video on Big Red and he actually asked Andy Armstrong, was like, hey, we noticed it's kind of light. And Andy Armstrong was like, yeah, if you're a doctor and you got, crap all over your hands, blood, guts, tears, you can't, you got to be able to get that knife up out. You got to be able to get the blades up out of there. Not that a doctor is using one of them anymore, but that was a common sense he put behind.
Yeah. And, that's the great thing about all these old traditionals. They were built for a specific purpose and everything about it was built for that purpose. Not to say I don't like moderns too. In fact, I probably use a modern more than I do a traditional, but the traditional patterns are just so cool.
Boston, let's see that blue and black piece of jewelry you got there.
So this is the I forget if it's Sprint Ops or Ops. I forget how it's the buck. I believe. Pro. Yeah, I believe it's Sprint Ops Pro. And you guys have seen Tom with this knife, I'm sure, 100 times. He's big on this knife, and he got another one. And I bought it. He got one that he found it at a good price, and I bought it off of him because he had me in mind, or Big J. But I bought it off him, and just a really nice knife, guys. You can see that black and blue there on the scales, G10 scales. Strike 3 right down the middle as far as centering. It's perfect. Right down the middle. Has that nice light blue backspacer in the back. Really like the way they did the pocket clip on this. Pocket clip comes up top here, and I like when companies do that. It gives you a real deep carry. As you can see, that the carry is actually, way up there. So that's gonna go right down into your pocket, nice. And the action on it, very nice. This is S30, S35 or S30. I believe it's S30V with that Paul Boss heat treat. And it's kind of like a reverse Tonto. That's what I would say. That's what Jerry was saying. Big J's knife was saying. It's kind of like a reverse Tonto blade on it, but just a good looking knife, a really, really good looking knife. You get a nice handle on this knife. What I like about it is up here, you have this, this area where you can just come right up like that. And it kind of melts right into your hand. Really nice knife. The choil down the bottom here, so you You kind of
yeah.
get right into it. Yeah, you melt right into that knife. But
Hey,
action
Kevin,
on it. Yes,
let me ask you: do you have a Selkirk?
I
Like
do
that
not have a
Selkirk?
Selkirk.
Okay. So I've been
No.
looking at those, and those I really like the looks of those, and I don't think those aren't U.S. made. I don't think the Selkirk.
Selkirk, I'm trying to. Yeah, I can't. Somebody in the comments will be able to tell you. Is Selkirk U.S. made? I'm not sure. Is it
I
Selkirk or is
really
it Selring?
like Selkirk, I think.
Selkirk. Yeah.
Selkirk.
I
Okay.
really like the looks of it,
Yeah.
and been thinking about picking up a couple more bucks. I actually lately have been on a cold steel kick, which is weird because I never was a cold steel guy. I had a
Cold
a
steels
fight,
make great,
and I
good
picked up
knives, man.
I picked up a couple, but one of this GI Tanto. I mean, this is less
Holy
than
moly.
$30, and I think I paid like 26, 27. You know, it's
This is
got
going to
the
drive people crazy
nice
right here.
Durex sheath, and it's
That's nice.
it's kind of blocky, but it's 1055, which is a pretty soft steel, but it's made for chopping stuff.
How much was that one?
It was less than $30.
Yeah. Cold steel has great
Yeah, they
great
do.
knives
And
and great prices.
I was because generally I don't carry a big knife because I don't have need for it. But
Yep.
I've been really getting into some of these bigger knives lately because I was like, yeah, it's just kind of cool. I just kind of want to have it, and I'll play with it in the backyard or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, the price, and they made. I mean, this is made in. I think this is made in Taiwan. Yeah.
Yep.
Or no, wait a minute. No, this one's China. A lot of them
China.
made in
Okay.
Taiwan, but less than $30, and they can make this, and they can ship it halfway around the world, and still make a
Right.
profit. And I think
Right.
it's been this price for like 10 years because I know this is not a new knife. But
That's one thing. That's one thing about cold steel, guys. If you guys are looking for a budget price and a good blade, but in a budget price, look at cold steel. And I'm sure a whole bunch of you guys already know that, but cold steel really gives you some serious knife for good money.
they
And
really
that
do.
lock, man, that lock too. I mean, whether you're looking at a folder with that lock, was it a triad lock, I believe it's called, or a fixed blade, man, you're gonna get a good piece. That triad lock, I'm gonna tell you, is a great lock. And a lot of times they'll put it under pressure. If you look at some videos, they'll put it under pressure with weights and show you how much that can handle. For example, here's one here, with that triad lock, but they're great locks. I mean, very, very, very strong. I'm not, but yeah, cold steel, you can get some great bargains with cold steel.
They're users.
They're users. That's what it is.
A lot of stuff. They're not
Yep.
fancy. They don't have all sorts of pretty colors on them, but yeah, they just
No, they're users. Like you had it right. They're users, and you can hear this thing when you open this thing. I mean, that has a positive click to it. This is the air light. I'm not big on the name being up there and everything like that, but this is a user. This is a user. This one and another one here is the American Lawman. That's a nice knife. That's a beast of a knife.
Oh man. Every time you show that, I want to get one.
It's an awesome blade, man. This one's an S30V, S35 or S30. I think it's S30. I'm sorry. This one's actually an S35V, and this one's made in Taiwan. But this one too, you can hear that when you open this knife. I mean, it just has that click, man, and
awesome.
it's as you said, it's a user. This is a work knife. This is something you're gonna bring to work, and you're gonna beat up, man, and it's gonna keep going and going and going.
Well, let me ask you this, Ray. Where did you get that that cold steel that you just showed, that Tonto blade fixed? Where'd you get that at?
I like to buy from local places, but I check Amazon.
Okay.
This was on and I don't begrudge anybody who shops Amazon. I understand the whole support local, and I believe in that. But if you're out in the middle of Montana and you don't have a knife shop, I mean, well, maybe if you're in Montana, you do. But
I shop Amazon.
Yeah,
it's just there. Every once in a while, you find stuff like this that I don't spend a lot of money, on it. But I've also, my wife and I have a couple of these. I don't know what you upload your grocery receipts, and you get money. And I've got right now, I've got about $100 in Amazon credit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And
well,
it's just, I'm just
that's where these come from.
because I was like to my wife, I was like, tell me what you let me keep this, and I will use this for my Amazon knife stuff, and I won't spend money out of the bank account for it. And she's like, that works for me. So there we go.
Like I get freezer money, I call it. I got a little stash in the freezer. I went there yesterday and yanked it out, and I'm glad I did because I ran into a Dodburn gold mine yesterday.
Jerry, let's talk about that for a minute, man. This guy's been going nuts.
This is about North Star knife reviews, not about Big J's.
No. You and
Big
Tom,
J's been getting some deals and a half.
Between the two of you, you get some fantastic deals. Let's see what you got.
Well,
let's see them.
Look at this box. Now, this knife, the knife in this box was sitting on this box. Oh, thanks, Mike Curtis.
Thank you, Mike Curtis. Thank you.
I'm hooked up on the screen while we do this. But if you see a box like this with an end tag, with end tags like this, made in the USA,
zoom it in.
S35 VN steel. Hold on, I'll zoom her in.
Zoom her in.
So you see something like this, and you see the blade even also says made in USA S35 VN, and it's sitting on top of a box like this. You got to start asking some questions. Now, here's the knife in the sheath. Now, friends of NRA, I'm a long-standing NRA member just because I have to because of the club I'm in, the Sportsman's Club. But this is an Attleboro knife. So you guys could listen to the history of that, but or look it up. But this knife alone, and I was in there, she had a price of $75 on it. And what I did was I looked at it and I'm like, and then I pulled up Google real quick, and all I seen was all the prices were 200 plus. This is called the Attleboro Fixed. And I just said, hey, I definitely want that one because it has the box. It's got a COA in there. It's got a sticker. It has a challenge coin. And I'm like, I definitely want that. And then there was this other one sitting above it, and called a Bastinelli. I didn't even look at it. She wanted $45 for this because her husband had passed away. So she's trying to just kind of go through his stuff and unload everything. It's a gun shop. So I said, hey, you know what? I'll give you $100 for both of them. I knew nothing about this thing whatsoever. And she goes, you know what? I'm giving people 20% off today. Let's see what that adds up to. She pulled out her little phone calculator, and both them knives come to $96. The money flew. The money flew out of my pocket. Yeah, there you go. Now, I'll never use something like this. I'll probably sell it or give it away or something, but
it's you can't refuse that deal though.
This sells on DLT trading for $230.
Yeah, those Bastinellis are expensive. Yeah. And I got this, and it's a clone. I did not know it was a clone. I bought it. I was just like, oh, that's a cool knife. And I don't even think the makers. It's one of those just Chinese brands. It's probably God knows what steel. It's supposed to be D2, I believe. But I was just like, I just like the looks of that. And it was inexpensive. And then somebody later said, oh, that's a Bastinelli. So I'm like, oh, I'm not real familiar with those because I'm not $200 knife guy. Yeah. But I went online.
Hey, Jerry, you said that Stog would be going crazy over that knife. He's throwing the comments in there, brother.
I just responded to him. Yeah, but
Ray, Ray, you got a good deal on it though too, right?
This was like $20, $25.
Yeah.
So
right.
I was just like, oh, I really like the. It's not the most useful shape in the world necessarily, unless you're like trying to slice somebody's kidney out, I suppose.
Right.
It was just like, it's just a cool knife.
Yeah, this thing's sharp as shit. Like I did a short on it last night and just slicing through paper. But I like to send funny videos to Kevin there. And I put the Aldi clip to where I could put it down in my pocket and then just yank it up out of my pocket.
Yeah, I was dying.
I got the camera sitting up and I pull it out of my pocket. I was like, I'm ready.
Yeah, I was dying when I seen that.
What are you going to do with this thing? I don't know. It's cool though.
It is. I mean, but for the money, you can't.
That I got recently, and it's a Kubi.
Yeah,
I really like Kubi knives. But this, it's got I don't know if it's real Kydex or not, but again, this is sort of that same style. I don't know. Maybe I just like this style of knife. But this is big. I mean, that is big. This thing is pretty good. You got a nice choil there. it just feels really good in hand. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but again, it's one of those things I saw that was on sale, and I'm like, God, I really got to have that, So
pull the trigger, brother. Because I'll tell you why I went to this place. I don't know if you guys watched Tom's show with me last Saturday, but a guy I work with, foreman in the steam shop, went to this gun store. It's closing down, and he picked up 5 of those Western knives, 2 that had hatchets with them. He picked all 5 of those up for $150. He calls me on Monday as I'm leaving work. Hey, come to my house. I go to his house. I'm not expecting a lot. And he goes, hey, I got these today. And I scratch my head. I'm like, holy smokes. I said, what'd you pay for these? He said, $150 for all of them. And I'm like, you're kidding. That's $30 a blade. And he said, I just want to keep the bigger one. And I looked at it. I could tell it was newer. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do with the rest of them? He goes, probably sell them. I said, well, I'll give you your money back right now. He goes, okay. So I bought the other 4. And I tell you, man, I'm glad I did. And I just did a video earlier on this one here, this W36J. So it's an 86 model. It's back when Coleman owned them. And it's even got Coleman on the snap, Coleman Western on the snap. But I cleaned these up a little bit. I didn't want to like take it all the way down to like brand new style, but I just wanted to clean them. And I've got one left to do, but my video on this one will be out Wednesday. And I also edited in like the patent and the tang stamps, information on that. So I edited those pictures into the video. That's why I was about ready to throw my computer through the window when I was talking to him earlier. But that's why I went, and I asked him this week, I was like, when are they open again? And he said, well, Saturday from 10 to 2. So me and Sarah were out, and I said, well, let's just go over there. And on that hunch, I picked up those 2 blades that I found yesterday, and I'm just, my heart, I couldn't even hardly sleep last night over that whole situation.
Yeah, you got an unbelievable deal is what you got.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. So
right? North Star.
Yep.
So I know we talked about your traditional. What about moderns? What are you carrying for moderns? What do you have there? What do you like?
Yeah, well, this rake that I showed earlier, and again another Kubi. I really like Kubis.
Kubi, yeah, they make some good stuff. Yeah.
Whoops.
I've seen a lot of videos on those lately.
Coas or Coius, but it flicks out really nice. It's got this really aggressive spear point, almost like an arrowhead. Nice action, nice deep carry clip on that.
That
really
is nice, yeah.
Black and blue. But yeah, it just flips out, and it's just a great little knife. I think is this one in.
What is that? Is that Kubi? What is it? Yeah, it's T2. I've seen it.
Yep. Coas or Coius, is it on here? Hold on. Coeus.
It has great action.
KU 122.
Okay.
So yeah, this is another one. It was on sale for I think $28. It was only like 45. And wow, I was like, oh,
great
yeah,
action.
I like that. And I've always had good luck with the Kubis. I've been buying these probably since I started collecting knives again, back in about 17. So yeah, I really like the Kubis. And here's another. I like this one too. This is Sencut, which I think is Kaiser, their budget. But this is just like a nice little. And what is this one called?
That is nice.
This is.
I like the pocket clip on that.
On here.
Yeah.
Look how deep the pocket clip is.
Yeah, it
is.
I love that.
This on there, and just great action on this. I think this is called the Sidious. I don't see it on here, but yeah, it just flips.
Yeah, Sidious sounds familiar.
And, just a nice little, not too big, slim knife. Fits in the pocket well, and those are just a few of the ones I've been carrying. I do have. Where are you? Sorry, got too many knives out here.
No, you're good. Kubi does make some good stuff though. Kubi, I don't have anything from them, but I see a lot of videos on them.
And then this is sort of a modern traditional, and I really love this knife. This is the Artisan Cutlery Biome. It's Dylan Mallory design. It's a slip joint, but it's just got 12C27 steel and the G10, but just a little slip joint that you can click back and forth. I kind of like slip joints. You got to use two hands. You got to think about it a little more. But it's just got this nice little drop points, not huge, really thin, and it doesn't have a pocket clip, which is good or bad. Pocket clip never makes it feel better, but it does make it more handy.
Right.
So, but this is just one of those knives that I carry a lot, just because it's small, it works, easy to sharpen. The 12C27 basic steel.
Yep. One thing about pocket clips, one thing about pocket clips is when I carry my knife on me, I really never use the pocket clip, and the only reason is because I'm constantly at work, I'm constantly moving, I'm always moving, and it's fallen out so many times, and it's just a matter of time before I lose one. So I actually, to be honest with you, 99% of the time, almost 100% of the time, it just goes right in my pocket anyways.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. A pocket slip from J.O.Ventures or EDC Leatherworks would come in real handy for something like that.
Yes, it would.
Yes, it would. There's a new maker on the circuit, Sarah's Designs. I took her and got her some leather and leather making stuff, Ray, and she is just, I couldn't believe she made a Cankoozie. I just got to show this. My wife, she just went deep into the river on this leather stuff, and I just want to show this Cankoozie she made. I walked in the other day, she's cutting my Cankoozie up, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm just taking it apart to get a pattern. Well, about an hour later, she comes in with this thing. This is all leather. It's all one piece. Look at the sewing.
Man, she's killing it. She's killing it. Yeah, doing a great job.
Well, a lot of people don't, and I think I've told Kevin and J.O. this. A lot of people don't know, but she actually, when we were in our early 20s, in our hometown, there was a factory that made survival gear for the military. Like flight suits, rubber dinghies, things, and all that stuff's got to get sewn together. And that was part of the contract there. They sewed together. She was a seamstress at that place, using heavy duty sewing equipment, things like that. So she's got experience with stitching and stuff like that. A lot of people don't know that. And
you can see it. You can see that the experience is there. Yeah,
like she had
absolutely.
During COVID, she's in there making masks to take them to work and give to people. And so, but this leather stuff, I kind of like it. She sent one to J.O. I sent J.O. a couple of knives to check out. And that's another thing, guys. We need to get J.O. over 1,000. As a team, we need to hop in and really help him out. So what I did is I sent him some eye candy. I sent him that Bark River Ultralight Bushcrafter because I've sent that to a few people.
Great knife.
And I also sent him a World War II Army Engineers knife. That one, it's pre-43. It still has the brass liners in it. So that's before they stopped putting brass in everything but ammunition. So he's got that one as well. And so, yeah, we need to get him over 1,000. So any videos you put out, try to throw his name out there and send people over his way to sub to J.O.Ventures Outdoors, because as much as he gives to the knife community, he's one who deserves it. So
absolutely.
I think, is he in the chat?
Yeah, he's here. I think he's around 7:30.
Yeah, he's really close to 750.
Yeah.
So I should try and get him over that this week.
Yeah. We have, how many people do we have in the chat right now?
43.
All right, so 43 people. Go over and subscribe to J.O. He's got great stuff.
Another plug for a guy I've really been digging lately, and that's Terry at Terry's Knives and Man Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He's over 150 now. I think he's probably just about 200. If you haven't gone over there, check that out. He has a much different accent than I do.
Yeah, I'm going to send him some. I got his address. I got decals coming tomorrow, and I'm going to send him some decals and maybe some other stuff as well. Because I know everyone done it for me when I was come up and coming. Ray, you even sent me some stuff. We sent some stuff back and forth, and me and Kevin have been sending stuff back and forth for months on end now. So
long time. Almost, I think it's almost going on a year.
Yeah,
whatever it's been. Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah,
man. It's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Time flies with this. It really does.
Yeah, but Ray, what else you got there on the on your table you want to show us?
I'm this used to be my 20-year-old's bedroom, and now I've turned it into sort of a little office. So I brought boxes of crap up. Well, not boxes of crap, boxes of knives. How about I talked to you a little bit earlier today, Jerry, about Remingtons?
Yes.
A few Remingtons.
I actually sent Kevin a text as soon as you sent that. I was like, "Oh, he's got Remingtons he wants to break out."
Yeah, you did.
That's how excited I got about
I'm
it.
up
Every
for
time I
some
get excited,
Remingtons.
he's the first person who knows when I'm wound up, man.
I'm sure most of the people, have at least some idea about that. And these are the repros. These are not.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Because those are way too expensive for me. All right, I can't afford that. But yeah, Remington started making knives right after. Basically, they did between World War I and World War II, because they started right after World War I, because Sheffield and Zollingen both had lost a lot of cutlers, during that war. England and Germany used to be, they were where Americans bought their knives. And then Remington realized right after the war, hey, there's this vacuum. We got to get into this. And they started making them. They started doing, they realized, hey, we can make one handle and make like 8 different knives out of it by putting either 2 blades or different combinations of blades and all that, which made, the economies of scale really great. And then during the Depression, I think they got bought by DuPont, and then World War II was breaking out, and obviously knives go down the list and munitions go up.
Yeah.
And so they sold to Pal Cutlery, who, kind of built what was left and then, kind of went out of business. But then I think it was 1982, they started bringing these reproductions back. And I think they're really cool because they're actually reasonably affordable.
Yes.
And I don't know, just got one, pull one out. This is the Mariner. This is just, it's a nice little.
Nice scales. I like those scales.
Yeah, it's the fake tortoise shell.
It's nice.
This is one of the Camillus. This is one of the Camillus made ones. They made them from the start until they closed in 2007, and then it went to Bear and Son, and I think Buck took it for a few years in 2017, and then GEC's been doing it for 2 years, 3 years, something like that. But yeah, these Remingtons, they're just copies of the old knives they used to have, and they're 440A steel, which isn't a super steel by anybody's definition, but it works. Right. And if you were your grandpa or your great grandpa, you'd be perfectly happy with this.
Nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
Let's see. Where is the. So I was going to try and pull. Yep. Here, you got.
I don't get too wound up over steels. I don't really get too wound up over them. 440C, whatever. It just, you can sharpen it.
Here's what you need it for. And so, see, here's how they do basically the same handle. All right. And this was the Angler, I think it's called. Basically the same thing, except it's got the Delrin instead of the tortoise shell, and it's got a little hook disengorger.
Yeah.
But again, these are just great knives. And Jerry, I know you said you had a couple. Let's see a couple of those, and then I'll get a couple more out.
Well, I got this one here. I forget what this is. The R1306 made in 1990. Hold on, golly, I hit the wrong button. So here's this one. It's a lot. Everyone loves these single blade lockbacks, right? That's everyone's new jam, is what I hear on the street. So here's a 1990 model. They've got the Stagalon style handles, but if you look, these usually crack, Ray, right around these barrel, around the lanyard tubes or around these pins, especially right here because it's so close. This one here never done it. And it's a good knife. This is a great knife. If we look at the centering on this thing, she's a Richter Strike 3 right down the middle as well. I mean, it is just a good knife. And Lee out at the flea market lets me get these for like $40 with the box, with the paper. Because I like to buy them with the box and the paperwork. That's just how I am. I'm kind of a box nerd. But, if we're talking about the splitting, and I don't know if anyone's going to be able to see this, but if we look at the top pin, it has a little split right there. It's a wee little one. But this is the Mini Trapper, and this son of a gun's got half stops, brand new, in the box. I probably paid $35 for this thing.
And I told you I love that knife, Jerry. That's an awesome. I really do. The whole look of that knife is awesome.
Yeah.
That exact same one right here.
Well, let's pull it up. Let's see. There it is.
Wow.
There it is.
I'm seeing doubles.
And this one also is good. Whereas
Yeah,
this one is from 84. This is a lockback, but you can see it's got the cracks.
Yep.
And that was really common in the first few
yeah.
years, especially. If you can find one of these without cracks, grab it, because they're few and far between.
And he's got some out there he wants a fortune for, and I would really like to be able to get me the silver bullet ones. Have you seen those? They got the sterling silver shields. I've seen one today and they wanted like $150 for it. And I'm like, nah, I'm not
paying that premium just to have a little piece of silver.
A special box. But
we got this one. This is one after they went to Bear & Son. And this is the swing guard. Yeah, if you're a case collector. But this one is 2007 R1373, and I think this was the first year Bear & Son did it. So this is bone. Camillus did a lot of the Delrin, couple wood. I don't think Camillus did any bone. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Bear & Son did this nice.
Yeah, I think Camillus did I have some Camillus bone ones. I can show it too. But,
okay, yeah, I'd like to see them. Yeah.
I got this one here, and I think someone let it sit in I don't know what they did to this thing, but at this side the bone's cool, right? It's nice, it's smooth, but on the back side she's a crispy critter. I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe it sat under a display cabinet under a light for a really long time, but this is a 2005. Says it right there. So this would have been before ambulance closed their doors, but this is like the it's like a moose. I don't have the box for this one, so and it was burned on the back side kind of. So I think he gave this to me for like $30. But I mean, it's never been used.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I said, few and far between they had bone handles. Most of them were wood or that Stagallon type material.
Yep. And I got, since I'm up and I can see myself.
There you go.
Here is,
I hit the wrong thing.
This is,
as always.
This is the, sorry, I got to take my glasses off. The R4243, and this is the biggest dang camp knife. This thing is huge.
Oh, my.
It's really cool, though. You got this gigantic clip blade. You think about your Victorinox or, whatever camp knife you have. Man, this thing is just a beast. You got that blade. You've got the world's largest awl. I mean, this is damn
big
shiv.
boy.
You go to jail and you use one of these. Then you got a sheep's foot blade.
Oh, I love that.
Really cool. I really like that, having that secondary blade on there. And then you've got the flathead and the cap lifter. And you got the bail on here. But man, this thing is gigantic. This must be, good 4.5 to 5 inches long.
It's a beast. I like
nice.
it.
Nice. Very nice.
And do you have any of these dang jumbo trappers?
Oh yeah, I do. I don't know which one. I think I've got about 20 right now. I'm not sure which box it's in, but it's in here somewhere.
But it's a Coca-Cola wood, and I love the wood on these. Now, again, these lanyard tubes were so sensitive. If you look, when they drove that through, they punched a little piece out right there, and they just kind of let her roll, and I don't really blame them. But, again, half stops.
Yeah, I got to get me some of those. I got to get some. I don't have any.
They're really affordable if you can run into them. You can get with the box, 50 to
75 to $60, depending on which model it is. Usually,
they're affordable, right?
What they are, obviously they're not the originals, but they're still, they're built on the same models, and they're just cool pieces of Americana.
Right? Absolutely.
This one is one that they did. This is not a bullet knife. This is one they did for Stren, the fishing line people.
Oh, yeah.
You see it on there. And this has basically the same blade that other one had, the big old toothpick blade. And then you also have the fish scaler and cap lifter and stuff. And it's, supposedly, I don't know. I assume it's true. It says 1 out of 5,000 or something on one side here. This side, I guess.
Someone
I'm
gave
assuming
one away the other day, I think.
it's not one of those. It's not one of those big old, Chinese company that has 50,000, 1 out of 5,000.
Yeah.
Knives, but
J.O. was asking for the Jumbo Rough Rider.
Oh, yeah. Just a second.
Yeah.
You can go to something else for a second.
We need to get Boston, man. What do you got over there? Yeah, man.
Oh man, I'm just enjoying. I'm just enjoying watching you guys with your blades, man. You guys.
I tell you something you showed me the other day that really impressed me, and it was when you showed it. I was like, Jesse sent me a knife that just looks like that, and it was a knife you had. I think it was a sin cut.
Oh, no, it was this one here. Yeah, this was the Tucson actually.
Yeah,
the Tucson. Yeah, so this is the Tucson. This one was one of theirs. So I wanted something in titanium, but this is actually titanium from Tucson. Now, how good of titanium it is, I don't know, but I did put a magnet to it, and it is titanium. But just a great knife from them. This has a great action. I mean, look at that great pocket clip on it. It's fairly deep carry, about right here, but great action. If I can give me 1 second, I had the thing locked, but so really nice action on this knife. I've used this for work, but yeah, just a nice knife. You have your lanyard hole in the back, has really nice action, drop shut. But yeah, Tucson makes some nice knives. I don't know. This actually reminded you of one of your knives, Jerry, that you were just talking about.
Yeah, it's not mine. It's Jesse's. He had lent it to me.
Yes.
Yep. The zero tolerance 0450.
Yeah.
I believe is the model of this. 0450. And it just, you opened that and were showing me, just because you were like, hey, I haven't pulled this out too much lately, and you were just like, and I was like, dude, Jesse sent me something that looks just like that. So it's kind of cool. And I need to do a video on this as well. And then there it is. We have something lurking there in the waters that Ray's got.
This is for Zen Ali. Zen Ali wanted me to hold this up, and then he goes sit back. So Here you go, Zen. That's for you, brother.
Everyone loves that knife there, Alpha.
Great knife.
So
it really is.
Before we get to the knife, we're going to have to talk about the sheath made by J.O. out of half a cow.
Yes. Go sub to J.O.
This is the barbecue knife. Okay. And I know some of you have seen it already, but this is the 25th anniversary gigantic jumbo trapper that Rough Rider did. And man, this, this'll cut your steak. All right.
And that's a big boy right there.
And then for all you spay blade lovers out there you go. All right.
We got to thank Mrs. C for her $2 donation. Thank you very much, Mrs. C.
Miss C, thank you very much. Thank you.
So that thing right there, Ray, now to be honest with us, have you cut any steaks up with that thing yet?
Not maybe not steak, but I have cut some meat with it.
Okay.
Off the barbecue. It's actually more fun just to see people's faces than to actually use it necessarily, because you go out in you better have a good belt too, because this thing is heavy.
Well, I was in an antique store yesterday, and they had some big ones like that, but they had like fish or something on the front, but they were huge like that, and that's the guy who yelled at me, and I just walked out of the store.
You got to tell that story. You got to tell that story.
Yeah. Man, I've run into some ding-dongs out here. People out here just don't know how to talk to one another sometimes, right? I'm wearing a Bark River t-shirt, right? I'm in this antique store, and you can't hardly see anything. It's real dark, and he's got this display cabinet, but I see these knives in there, and they got aluminum pommels on them. Now, when I see an aluminum pommel, leather stacked handle, I'm thinking marbles, Western, something of that sort, and I couldn't see the sheet. I mean, it was so dark in there, Ray. And I'm like, hey, I would like to see these leather stacked knives you got over here. And they were the only two that had prices on them. One was $135, the other was $115. He picks someone out for $135. He hands it to me. He hands me the knife. Here. So what are you supposed to do with it when you get it? You're going to take it out of the sheath, right? That's what most people would do. And I went to do that. Don't you open that. Don't you pull that out of the sheath. I'm like,
who would buy a knife without doing that?
Right.
Yeah, and I'm
exactly.
Like,
exactly.
And you know, I'm a bigger dude and he's looking up at me. You know what I mean? He's like, don't you open it. You know, it's frantic. And I'm like, okay. And
Why'd you hand it to me?
I just gave it back to him. He said, it's just like this one. I don't want the blade scratch. It's new old stock. You know, we don't want that blade scratch. And I'm like, did you think I was going to take it out of the sheath and then start rubbing it on everything metal in your store? I don't know. And I got Sarah and she come over and she was like, well, what are these knives in the display cabinet? So I just started pointing at each knife in there and was telling her what it was. And then he see my shirt. And then I'm like, I ain't buying anything at this place. And I said some other words too. And just walked out and was.
I would have walked out too. I would have walked out too.
On my way out because I'm like, it was just so weird. What they were K-bar military knives. But again, you couldn't see them. You didn't know what it was. And I was just going to, there was 100 different ways he could have handled it. He could have said, hey, if you don't mind, can I take it out of the sheath because I just don't want the blade scratch? I would have had no problem with that. Or he could have said, hey, can you open this one first and make sure you're definitely interested in buying it? You know, the other one. 100 different ways he could have handled it. But he was a ding dong and he lost a guy who will ever go in there and spend money. Because I'll go in a place and I'll just buy their axe heads. I'll just buy whatever just to have it to trade or whatever. But I don't know. I immediately told Kevin and Jesse about it.
I would have went off just like Jersey just said, man. I mean, first of all, don't hand me it if you don't. What are you handing it to me for?
Yeah, it was just crazy.
But yeah, weird, very weird.
You know, as a guy who buys a lot of knives in this area, you know, I'll never step foot in that place again.
No.
Well, and if anybody else is asking you, you're going to say, well, don't go there.
Yeah. And it's in St. Joe, Illinois. So don't go to the one with the old car parked outside of it. He's got an old, what's that car Tim Allen had in that show he done, Home Improvement? Oh, the Chevy car, the wagon.
What, in Home Improvement?
Yes. The car in Home Improvement. It was always
who had it? Tim Allen? Who had the car?
Well, Tim Allen had one in that car, but that guy's got one parked outside of this place, painted flat black. So if you're in St. Joe, Illinois, and you see that flat black 57 wagon sitting outside, do not go in there and spend money.
All right.
Jesse McJames says a Malibu, maybe.
Oh, it's I forget what it's called, but I'll think of it here after bed. But yeah, my blood pressure was up a little bit, but then everything was fine because I got the other deal, so it's no big deal. But Ray, what else you got sitting there, man? I know you got a bunch of
actually, I tell you what, I just did a little video this afternoon about birch bark.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Yes,
I like Nordic knives. All right, Scandinavian knives, Finnish knives, and stuff. And so I did a little video because I'm putting together a fillet knife for my father-in-law because I gave him this. He harvested this caribou back in about 1968 when he was in the Army, and he gave me the rack. And so I've made some knives with it, and I made a knife for him with the antler on it. And maybe a week ago, he texted me and said, "Hey, I'm going fishing with some friends in next spring up in Canada, and I think they'd really think it was cool if I had a fillet knife with some of that antler on. Could you do one?" Sure. So I'm going to do that, and it's also going to have some birch bark on it. It's a very traditional Scandinavian thing, and this is just a strip of birch bark. But I was just showing on the video, you have to process, you have to kind of peel it a little bit because you want to get some of the loose stuff off. And you kind of rub it and whoops, which way am I here? Everything's backwards on my computer. So, you just kind of rub it and peel the stuff off until you get it kind of smooth, just because you don't want loose stuff. And then you stack it, alternate the grain because that'll improve the strength. But they use this a lot in Scandinavian knife because one, it's really light. Two, it's pretty tough when you have it all stacked. And three, it doesn't transmit cold very well because it's kind of like really stiff cork. And so there's like little air pockets inside. And so it stays warmer. And so when you get it done, this is a knife that I use a fair amount, and you can see the birch bark right in here.
Really cool.
And it just makes little stripes, and kind of the color kind of changes as you move it around a little bit because they're alternating directions on the grain. This one's been used a lot, so it's got the oils from my hand and stuff. This is a newer one.
Oh wow!
That's cool.
Just for the heck, because I had this little piece of antler, and I was like, what can I do with it? And I had this short little blade, and so I know it's kind of weird looking, but eventually I'm going to try my hand at leatherworking. I hope this winter I'm going to turn it into a little neck knife. Scandinavian, they wear a lot of neck knives, blade down, because in the winter it's a lot easier to just zip open your coat and pull a knife out of here than to try to get something out from under your coat from a sheath. And so these little neck knives are really popular. And so this is some of that antler, and again the birch bark. And this one hasn't been patinaed much because I haven't carried it much. But as you use it, it darkens up like this. See?
Really cool.
So I decided to just put that up today because I was cutting the birch bark, and I'm like, if people don't use Scandinavian knives, they're probably not familiar with that very much because it's not something most places use.
Yeah. And you always got some good educational stuff on there. And, you and Tom at Knife Delights, Tom he's a lot big into history buff and things like that. And I appreciate people who take their time out to kind of show stuff like that. I think it helps everyone be just a little bit better. And a couple people in here were talking. It is a Chevy Nomad. So if a flat black Chevy Nomad outside of an antique store, don't go in there.
You can tell this pissed you off, man.
Oh, it doesn't matter a wet Hornet.
I would have been too.
Yeah, I'm going to show you one other knife here, quick. And I've shown this before, but this is a Yakut.
Oh, I like the handle.
And maybe there might be some people in the chat who haven't seen this before, but this blade was handmade in Siberia. Actually got it on Etsy, and I got kind of lucky. It shipped out about a week before Russia went into Ukraine, because that shut a lot, so I might not be able to get it. But you can see it's well, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's flat on one side. So it's kind of like a chisel grind, but it has this hammered out part in here. And so it's kind of like a bridge, it's curved. So it pushes the forces out. If you have a bridge that's flat like this, and you put a load in the middle, it's going to break. But if you have something like this and you put a load on it, it pushes it out to the sides. So this improves the lateral strength.
Wow, that's cool.
And this is modeled after the old bone knives that they used to make.
That is cool.
Take a cattle femur or something, and you do that. And the nice thing about this, you don't have to find an angle because it's flat. So if you're out in the field and you sharpen it, you just flat on your stone or whatever.
Yeah.
And you sharpen it, and because it has this in it, as you sharpen it and this moves up, so does this. And so you always have this lip as it goes up. And so
cool, interesting.
Really, really sharp. But yeah, these are made in Siberia. I put the handle on this. This is desert ironwood and walnut.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is I just thought it was a really cool knife. I came across it online once while I was searching, for like northern knives or native knives and stuff. And I was like, oh, I want one of them, but they were like $200 to buy.
Yeah.
I was able to get the blade for about $50, and then, like $5-10 worth of scrap wood to put on it. So, plus it's fun doing something yourself, even if it's not perfect. It's nice to just, I made this, and it's got some flaws, but it's not like everybody else has, right?
Yeah, no, that's a very cool piece. A lot of people in the comments here are liking that knife a lot.
Yeah, that handle was crazy.
Yeah, it was. Yep. Well, I like how it has that. Go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna tell you, like Doom Crew's making handle or covers for slip joints out of water buffalo dog treats he's getting at Dollar Tree. He's
crazy. Yeah.
Sanding them down, machining them down, pinning them into these.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Can't believe it. But yeah, what were you going to say, Kevin?
No, no, I was just gonna say I like how they did that, like how he was talking about with the bridge, how
That's cool.
it's gonna expand. But that's very interesting knife.
Yeah, because it's so cold. I mean, this is the coldest inhabited place on Earth, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
They get during the
Right.
winter, they get down to 50, 60 below Fahrenheit on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah.
So anything you can do to improve the tough, and they use, it's a carbon steel because you need to be tough. You don't want it to be too hard because it'll crack or chip. So.
And Byron Kendi puts up here, a custom knife factory had a Ukrainian designer release a folder with that style divoted rock pattern knife blade. It all went away with the war as well. So it kind of stinks, but
we're going to get going on the guard here in a minute.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, Ray, you want to show people what we'll do yours first, and then we'll do the happy hour live chat one after yours. So let's talk about yours first.
All right. What I'm going to do is give away a Mora. It's not going to be this particular one. This is just, the Mora Basic. This is just, like these are $12, $13. Best buy in the knife world, I think. At least unless you absolutely need a folder. But otherwise, these things just punch so far above weight. And so what I'm going to do is we do the drawing. Whoever wins, I'm going to let you pick whether you want a stainless one or a carbon one. The stainless is 12C27. The carbon is, I believe, 1095. And I'm going to order it directly from Amazon because the only new one I have is one that I promised my son, the Minnesota Gophers color one. So, so I'll do that, and Amazon can pay the postage for me. Okay. And what you'll do is email Jerry your contact information and carbon or stainless, and then I will try to get it out to you either tonight or tomorrow. Actually, probably tomorrow because I'm going to a dinner party right after this.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, guys, we're going to do it like we always do. Ray, if you want to write down a number between 1 and 100 on a piece of paper there somewhere.
I will do so.
And this is going to be for the Mora. It's going to be your choice, stainless or carbon. And I have a feeling people in this chat are going to pick carbon. I could be wrong, though. I could definitely.
There are advantages to both.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we got.
He is right, though. It is one of the best buys for the money.
I buy them
really
off all the time. All right, we got the number. Okay, I'm gonna put start in the chat, and when you guys see that, pick a number between 1 and 100. And while we're talking about that, let's talk about the Kaiser giveaway. So be sure you put the word Kaiser for your raffle ticket, 1 per episode. So whoever puts the word Kaiser in will at least get one. We'll get one raffle ticket only, and it's only going to U.S. residents because this will not make it across the border. But yeah, I think last week we had over probably 35 tickets on last week's episode. I think it went like 18, then 30, and then last week was like 35. So be sure you put the word Kaiser in the chat here, and also pick a number between 1 and 100 right now. And I also want to give a big thanks. J.O.Ventures sent us a slip with a pink stitching for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Then we had Dwayne Letterman send these items. And then, of course, we got the knife from Jesse McJames, and then the knife that Sarah donated that she had in her truck, the Buck Bantam in the cool pink camouflage. So I just keep this stuff bagged up because I don't want anything ever happening to it because, this people spend a lot of time and effort on this stuff. So I want to keep it in bags, and, you never know what could happen. So how long has it been here? We got a minute. We'll give it another 40 seconds. And guys, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that donated to the breast cancer awareness. That was awesome to everybody that donated to that. Thank you guys very much. And we'll be doing that. When are we going to be doing that, Jerry?
That'll start. We'll draw for the Kaiser next. We'll draw for the Kaiser next week, and then we'll start the raffle next week. So we'll have a drawing, and then we'll think of a word they can type in.
Yep.
A raffle ticket every week, and then we'll draw it the first week of November, right?
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's what we were saying. Yep.
I'm sure Sarah will make something, and I think Randy at EDC Leatherworks said that him and Linda were going to try to think of some stuff to send up as well.
Awesome. So, but yeah, thank you to everybody that's doing that.
Put stop in the chat here. So I think everyone's had enough time to pick their number between 1 and 100 as we sat here and talked. So, Ray, what's the winning number?
3.
Oh, he went low. He went.
That's why I decided to do that.
Heck yeah.
All right, we got Bama Blades with 17.
Kirby Creek got 10.
Kirby Creek with 10. Thomas McDonald with 13. So Thomas McDonald has 13.
I think KCO with 10, but I'm not sure. I haven't went through all of them yet. I think it's KCO with 10. Guys,
looks like CKO. Yeah, it looks like that's what I'm seeing myself.
Does everyone think that Kirby is the man? I think he is.
I think
and he did that.
100% Earnhardt.
It looks like Kirby Creek with 10.
Yeah, Kirby Creek with 10. He left a really awesome comment. I want to thank him for the comment he left on Jersey's video thanking me. I haven't had a chance to do a Thankful Thursday video, but Kirby Creek put a really awesome comment. And I want to let him know that I appreciated that comment that he put. So I think Kirby Creek Outfitter got it. So Kirby, go in and under my homepage, you can just go to my information. It's on my homepage. You only have to dig in. I got it right there on my information, and just shoot me your mailing address. I actually may have it, honestly.
And carbon or stainless.
Yeah, carbon or stainless. So be sure to let us know that. I'm going to look real quick to see if I have his stuff. I may not.
And he was doing that. He actually did it for Baxter's Blades.
Oh, so I definitely have his address. So
Yeah.
Baxter Blades. So Baxter, you just send me an email. Let me know if you want carbon.
Carbon. Yep. All right.
Yeah, I think I've got Baxter's.
Yep.
Just, he was doing that for Baxter's Blades.
Yep, I've got Baxter's address, so we are good to go.
I will send that out to Andrew.
All right. Well, congrats to Andrew Baxter Blades. He is another up and comer. I love his stuff. I love the music he picks, man. He's a Seattle music guy, which is.
He was just on this morning with RJ.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. We were driving over in Indiana all morning, messing around. But now we'll talk about what Happy Hour Live Chat's going to give away via some great supporters. Again, I want to thank everybody before we even do our giveaway, because without the people out there who donate this stuff, it wouldn't be possible. So Georgia Adventure, EDC Leatherworks, be sure you check out his Etsy page. J.O.Ventures, Jersey Knife Guy, Jesse McJames, North Star yourself. I still have one of these, and I'm going to save it for next week since you did the more this week. Ben Baker, Dwayne Letterman, and Radio Geek. And speaking of Radio Geek, he donated a killer. He actually gave me a couple of them. Rough Rider Copperhead, brand new in the box. This thing is pretty cool. It's a strike 3 right down the middle. We got a good fit and finish on this bad puppy. 2 blades, of course. We got some swag. I did a Smoky Mountain Jersey Knife Guy. I got one of my decals, my last one, because I got more coming. Ray, I got one of yours because it's your episode. And I think J.O. donated this, a Sticker Mule coaster. J.O. also donated this Travax Summit wallet, which is pretty cool. So the winner's going to get all that stuff, plus Jersey Knife Guy. I always got to throw something from him in there. One of these Ozark Trail spring-assisted knives. So, yeah.
I'm interested in seeing that wallet. Like, if we see that up close real quick, the wallet, that looks pretty cool.
Hold on here. And I left this in there, but you can take it out. But here's the wallet. It's got a strap on it and stuff. And
that's cool.
Pretty cool. He's got little things like that he always sends over.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool of him. And, he sent also that pink laced knife slip for breast cancer awareness. So our winner is going to get all of that stuff. So I'm going to put start in the chat. Actually, Ray, I need you to pick a number first.
All right.
Sorry, I've got a little head on myself there a little bit. I was so excited over all this stuff, man.
Hold on, I got to find some paper again here.
And then inventory all this and try. You got to keep. I got to keep track of I've got to put them in piles. Like here's Jesse's pile, here's Pete's pile.
Yeah, I know you send me the piles.
Yeah, like look at all these piles we got, man.
Man, again, thank you to everybody that donates. It really does.
Yeah,
we wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. So thank you very much.
All right, I got a number.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna put start in the chat. Once you see start, if you've already put a number, put it in again.
And then I have one more knife I would like to show because I think it's just the prettiest dang thing.
Well, let me get this stupid thing off of me here real quick. There we go. So guys,
This
pick a number
is
1 to 100. Oh, he's got a case.
For the case collectors. This is one from the late, great Tony Bowes. Okay. Tribal Lock, which is probably my favorite case pet, at least the modern ones. And it's just such a pretty knife, I think.
Oh,
with
man.
The blue and the red shield on there. Whoops.
That's nice.
Right down the middle.
And these, I just love the shape of these too. You know, just such a great, useful blade shape and handle shape. You know, Tony Bowes, he just did, his stuff was simple, but it just was a step above, I think.
You know what? Now that I've just seen that, North Star, you just made me. I already like the tribal locks, but I'm gonna grab one. That's a nice knife, and that knife there.
I really like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they are some of that, but you know what?
Right now, Ray, how long have you had that?
I have had this. Well, what year did this come out? I bought it right when it came out. It was before Tony Bowes died.
Oh.
Which I'm sure after Tony Bowes died, I'm sure they all went up in price. But
so I'm sure they're going for what are they going for? Probably $100 or more now.
50, maybe 55 for this.
Yeah. I tell you what, Lee's got a couple out there, and he wants 120 a piece for them, and one's a black synthetic, and I'm like, nah, I wouldn't pay more than 70 for that. That's just me. But I've got a whiskey bone one that Doom Crew gifted me, and man, it's. I actually forgot to pull my case thing down, or I'd show it, but it's pretty awesome. And I haven't even showed this knife, I don't think, but I got a whiskey bone mini trapper a couple of weeks ago. This thing is.
We gotta blow that up there, Jay. What's going on with that knife? Let's see it.
I can't be showing you all my good stuff. So here, the
nice.
whiskey bone always has that shield on it, but I didn't even. It's a strike 3 right down the middle, pretty much on both blades. The thing about the mini trappers always got pretty good fit and finish and pretty good action. And this is also it's also CV.
Okay.
So carbon steel. It's a carbon steel blade. I don't know if you can see that, but it's CV.
Yep. It's that chrome vanadium, right?
Yeah. So but it's one I had to have. I seen it out there, and he had bought some guy's collection, and I didn't even know it. I was tooling around looking at the Remingtons like I usually do, and he goes, "Hey Jerry, go take a gander." And I went over there and I was like, "Well, there was too much." He had a bunch of copper locks and tribal locks, and when I seen the whiskey bone, I immediately just stopped what I was doing and just grabbed it. I was like, I know I definitely want that to match the whiskey bone tribal lock that Doom Crew gifted me. So
tribal locks are beautiful. Yeah. I love that one that you have, Ray. Very nice colors on that one.
Yeah, I really like it.
Oh, yeah, the blue with the red. Yeah, it's beautiful. So I think everyone's had time to put a number between 1 and 100 in. So I'm going to put stop in here. And let's see what we're doing. So, Ray, what was the number this time?
82.
82.
So we have 81. Singing Toad did 81 for Last Chance Knives.
Okay.
So we have that. It looks to me as it's the closest, but I'm going to go over it again. That's what I'm seeing, guys. If you guys want to check that for me, but I'm seeing Singing Toad as the winner, but he's giving the knife away.
I don't even know. Gee, oh yeah, 81. There it is.
Yep.
That's what I'm seeing. I don't see an 82 or an 80 or an 83. There's no 83 or 82 or another 81, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
So I just checked this 3 times, and it looks like that is the winner.
Okay, so I've got his information as well.
Yeah, 81 with Singing Toad. That's what it's looking like for Last Chance. I'm sorry, for who did he do it for?
Last Chance Knives.
Last Chance Knives.
Is that correct, Toad? Toad just confirmed that?
Yep. What is BigJ's Knives? What you needed?
Yeah.
Yeah, for Last Chance. Yeah.
Last Chance is out there where I'm from, so I've we've swapped stuff before, so I'll get that package out to him tomorrow or Tuesday. I got a physical thing tomorrow for my surgery, but I'll get that
He
out
just
probably.
confirmed for you.
Gotcha. Thank you very much, Toad. So I've already got his information. I don't need nothing. I can get that right out to him, no problem whatsoever. And then
Singing Toad, thank you.
Yeah, then so Baxter just has to let me know carbon or steel.
He said
Stainless
carbon.
steel.
I think he already said carbon in the chat.
Oh, nice.
So I will send that out probably tomorrow.
Okay.
Get the address from Jerry.
Yep, I'll send it over to you.
Either of you guys have any brother knives?
I do not, but I see them. I see them all over the place now.
I really like them. I think there was a rumor that they are who is making the Rosecraft in China. I don't know if that's true, but it certainly could be because they, at least the ones I've had have been really nice fit and finish. This is just a nice little Warncliffe. A lot of them are in 8CR. Other ones are in VG10. This is the 1506. But yeah, they make this is about $30, $25-$30, and just really great fit and finish on these. At least that's what I've had. I don't know what other.
I know Jersey was talking about those knives as well, brother knives. He said they were good.
Yep, I really like them.
Yeah, he done a video on them the other day. I believe there's been a ton of people with videos on these. I just I've been so heavy on getting stuff from like flea markets and antique stores, and like for me to order something offline, I'm getting all these deals from here locally, so I just have been sticking with that pretty much a lot. I do need to order me another mahogany bone sod buster because my boy took that one from me. He wanted a traditional knife to carry to his. He's got a teacher. He's got his hydraulics professor in college is big into knives, so he wanted a traditional to take to class. And I was like, "Well, you need to tell your professor to check out BigJ's knives. Is what you need to do. I need another subscriber."
There you go.
But I just emailed you Baxter's address.
Okay.
So I got a picture of it, and I'll be coming across as a picture. So what else you got there, Ray? What else we got floating around there on your table?
Let's see. What else should we do? Well, here's one that I put the handle on. This sheath is a BPS.
Okay,
sheath,
yeah.
And a BPS blade blank. So this is 1066 steel. And, nice big beefy blade. What I do with a lot of my carbon steel blades, especially if I'm going to be using them much, I'll use them in the kitchen first. I mean, even though this is a Scandi grind, it's not the greatest, geometry for kitchen work, but, just some onions and some beef. Put just a nice little patina on there, just to protect, I mean, I really like the colors that this shows up. And then I've got leather, which I left rough for a grip. Caribou antler, another little piece of leather, because it's hard to get the antler perfectly straight, and the leather gives a little bit, so it's nice to put in between that and this. This is a light mahogany wood on the back.
That's beautiful. I like the purples and blues you get from hot meat, like the hot beef.
Yeah.
My youngest boy, he was asking me, what do I need to do? Because he's used to carrying Benchmades and Spydercos and stuff. And I said, man, if you're at school and you got a hot burger, slice that hot burger with that sod buster, and it'll start to get your blues and your dark grays and maybe some oranges in there.
Yeah, it does.
Is he at like a lunch room at college? Just tell him to stand up, scream, and just stab the hamburger.
Oh yeah, look at this thing.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's carbon. That's a carbon steel. This is the copper lock, the Warncliffe way. But I'm just trying to show you the blues that you're talking about. I don't know if that's coming in.
Oh yeah,
yep.
That is and with that copper lock, like
one of my favorite cases.
There you go.
Great. This is a great. Love it.
Yeah.
That was an awesome trade too. Awesome trade. Great
my
trade.
Shield popped out of mine the other day, but luckily it was in the bottom of my pancake sheath. So I sanded the back of that shield real good and took some acetone to it and cleaned it all up real good. And I put some of that E6000 glue, enough to
Oh,
where
yeah,
when I
double.
pushed that shield down, that glue was squeezing up around it. So that thing ain't coming out of there ever again. There ain't no way.
That's better than how Case did it, obviously.
Yeah.
I just want to show this. Go ahead.
This is just a little old Imperial hammer brand. Excuse me, hammer brand, not Imperial. Although they're made by the same people at this point. But this one is after World War II because it's got the USA down the side. The pre-World War II ones just said hammer brand. They didn't have that USA. So this is probably somewhere between 43 and maybe like 56 or something. But these were just great little. I love these hammer brands because they're cheap, and you can collect them, and they're part of American history. And they're just shell knives. So to find one that's in really good shape like this is really, I think, pretty cool. But these were just the knives that everyday Joe and Jane on the street would buy because they were inexpensive and they would use them. And when they broke or got dull or that they couldn't sharpen them anymore, they just throw them and buy another one. Yeah. And this is like just the working guy's knife, from way back.
Kevin, what did you have that you were flying up there in the screen real quick? What did you have in your hand? I thought you were going to show something.
Oh, no. I was going to show the leather from J.O.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, J.O., man, I just wanted to throw him another shout out. That's all. That's the leather sheath that I keep that copper lock in, and it's really starting to mold to it. It's starting to get soft, a little bit softer. And as you can see there, how it's molded. But no, I just wanted to throw a shout out to J.O. That's what I was.
Yeah, if you guys aren't subbed to J.O., get over there and do it right now.
Yes.
And then we were talking about the thing I found today, which was this Imperial multi-tool kit set. And this stinking thing, I don't think the knife had ever been used on it, but the paint, the paint on these aren't the best. So it's starting to chip. But look at the blade on this thing.
That's nice.
And what you do, boys, is you got your other tools. I'm trying not to drop everything, guys. You got your other tools, and it kind of just goes in like, well, hold on now.
Hooks in.
Finger off.
Oh, let me see.
We don't need your other finger getting messed up, Jerry.
Yeah, let me see if I can get it, well, I just can't get it, guys. Well, there it is. There we go. So you just slide her in there, then you got a file.
Yeah, that is cool.
Then to get it out, you just turn it halfway and pops right out. But I thought this was a cool little outfit, and I picked it up for $10, the whole set.
And how many blades did you get with that for $10?
It comes with the main blade on knife and then 5 extra tools.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and it came in a case that says leak-proof piston rings. So it's some type of automotive parts company, I would guess, that made piston rings.
Is that a leather sheet well for it?
What's that?
Is that also a leather sheet type of thing holding it? Not sheet.
It's Chauncey leather at the best. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's real leather or not, but
still nice. It's still nice.
Yeah. I figure since he was showing that and we were talking, I actually asked Ray if he'd ever seen one because I know that, he's got a little more knowledge about stuff like that than I do. So I wanted to see.
Yeah, I'd seen one on eBay, and like we were talking, Case makes something sort of like that.
Yeah, the exchanger.
Yeah. That's really cool. And these old knives, that's the great part about them. They've got this story to them, and you may not know it, but there's still something about that connection you get to these old knives.
Yep, I agree 100%. Well, Ray, we're at our hour and a half. We're at our 90-minute time limit. I personally, I want to thank you so much for coming on. As soon as me and Boston finished last week, I was like, hey, what about North Star Knife Reviews? You donated stuff to our channel, and I've seen you on lives before, and you got a lot of great knowledge about Victorinox. You're making your own stuff. You're making stuff and send it to us to give away. So I want to thank you very much for coming on today, man.
Well, I want to thank you guys very much for doing this. I know this is not the easiest thing to do every week and, line everything up and, like herding cats. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for having me on. I want to thank you for what you do for the community.
Hey, thanks a lot, Kevin. What do you got to send us off with?
Yeah, no, Dre, Northside Knife Reviews, thank you so much for being here. I just want to second that from Jerry. It really is a pleasure having you on here. You have great stuff going on. I remember you sent me, just real quick, remember you sent me a knife here. Show real quick.
Yep. Sent me one too. I actually pulled it out earlier.
But yeah, no, just, we appreciate you. You're a huge, huge part of this community, and thank you for being on. We appreciate you very much. J.O.Ventures, and also Georgia, I'm over here. I'm stuttering my words. Georgia, thank you for everything you guys do for the community, sending things in, your leather work. And also, if you guys are not subscribed to J.O., please do subscribe to J.O. Trying to get him over that 1,000 mark. Hey, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Again, Northside Knife Reviews, thank you for being here.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for coming along. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.